right, what's going on, y'all? Today I'm going to take you through a full day of eating fasting as an Orthodox Christian. Today I'm going to show you how I go through and I fast and still have it be high protein and hit my protein goals to make sure I maintain performance as a strength athlete and strength coach. This has been a question I've been getting a lot lately from my Orthodox brothers and sisters of, how do I manage my fasting days with everything I do, to make them high protein and all that. So hopefully some of these meals today can be useful to y'all during your fasting days to make them a little bit more high protein or just make them a little bit better. We fast on Wednesdays and Fridays. Today is Friday, so today is a fasting day. And then obviously we've got Great Lent coming up, which is about a month and a half of fasting. So I have a whole list of, fasting meals, especially high protein fasting meals. So today will be a little bit of a sample of that and hopefully help you. So we've got Divine Liturgy coming up in a few minutes. So I'm getting ready to have meal number one. Now meal number one, this is a quick swap that I do from my non-fasting days. It's very similar to my non-fasting days. And it's a very, very simple, quick, easy meal, easy to get down, and I love it. So just had morning prayers. Now I'm going to go ahead and have meal number one, and then we're going to get off to Divine Liturgy. So what I've got for meal number one is 100 grams of oats. I've got 70 grams of vegan protein powder, and I'll show you what I'm working with in just a second. And then 50 grams of blueberries. Now I like my oats to be a little bit more, and I call this protes. It's a protes bowl, protein oats. I like my protein to be a little bit thicker. Obviously, you can add a little bit more water if you want it to be, a little bit more runny. So the protein powder I'm using for this meal, this is Ghost Vegan Protein Powder. This is their chocolate cereal milk. It's delicious in this meal. So go ahead and getting this meal down as meal number one. This is like a high protein meal for meal number one. Gets a lot of protein in for the start of the day. And kind of gets me rolling along to hit my total daily protein goal. So I'm going to go ahead and get this down. We're going to go off to church this morning, and then I'll show y'all what we're working with for meal two. All right, y'all, so we're back from church, so I'm getting ready to head off to work. So today I've got a couple in-person training sessions with some clients, and then in between those sessions, I'm going to get my own training in. So for meal two today, meal two, I want it to be pretty big. It's got to keep me full for quite a bit before I can get to meal three. So I'll show you all what we're working with for that in just a second. But in case you don't know, the rules of Orthodox fasting is we're essentially vegan. There's a couple of exceptions to that, but we're essentially, completely vegan. We abstain from meat or blood, blood from animals. And the only really animal products we can have is crustaceans like shrimp. And I might have a shrimp meal today. We'll see what I'm working with for tonight. But for the most part, when we fast, we're vegan. And that, we've got big Great Lent coming up, Holy Great Lent coming up. That's going to be, about, 6 weeks or so of fasting. And during that time, it's, mostly just strict fasting, which is going to be, vegan with, the exception of shrimp. But with that being said, it's not really hard if you strategize on getting high protein meals. So this has been something that's been requested by my church, and then my spiritual father, Father Moses. He's really encouraged me to make a cookbook for our church for a lot of the guys and girls in our church that are really big into fitness and wanted guidance for how to get high protein meals. And I've also been getting some questions from y'all on, how I'm going to manage Great Lent and how I manage my own fasting with my training and all that. So we've got a bit of a mess here. My wife and I have been spending the last couple weeks cooking all these recipes for our cookbook, our Orthodox fasting cookbook for strength and performance. It's a cookbook full of fasting compliant recipes that are high protein, and my wife has been making some delicious recipes. So Jacqueline's been doing an amazing job on this. So hopefully I'll have this done for y'all this next week and available that way. Before we roll into Great Lent, you'll have it available. These recipes are going to be great for you guys, especially all of you out there that are into fitness or any strength sports or anything like that, and you're trying to manage your protein. These are great recipes to help you fast right, fast in the right way that we as Orthodox Christians do, but also do it with high protein. So I'm excited to bring you all that. That should be out this next week, so be on the lookout for it. It's going to be the Orthodox Fasting Cookbook for Strength and Performance. And we can thank my beautiful, amazing wife for putting in so much work of coming up with these recipes and making them taste delicious. I'm serious, guys. The last several weeks, I've been having some great food trying this. So today, what I've got for meal 2, I've got a burrito here. Now, we were out of our high protein burrito wraps. You can get a high protein burrito wrap. So I just used a regular wrap. I'll go ahead and use that for the macros I show you today. But just keep in mind, you can go ahead and make this even higher in protein with that. So what I've got is the wrap. I've got a whole block of tofu, which, guys, I can talk about this in another video of the science behind soy and phytoestrogens from all that and the true effect it has. And frankly, y'all don't really need to worry about it. But we got a whole block of tofu, about 1/4 of a cup of black beans, avocado, and then for seasonings, we used some bell peppers, nutritional yeast, smoked paprika, garlic powder, and then we've got some like habanero sauce. What was that, baby?
Salt.
Yeah, and salt. And then that habanero salsa. Not the habanero hot sauce I typically use. I use the salsa on this one. So I've got 3 burritos here. So I'm gonna get this down, and this will keep me full for the next few hours before I show y'all meal 3. Meal 3 should be before or after training today. And then I'll show you what we're working with that. And then tonight should be some good meals too. So I'll keep you guys posted and catch you guys in a bit. All right, y'all, so I just finished up my training. So I had an in-person client session and then rolled right into my workout. Just rolling off of those burritos from earlier. I did an upper body session, kind of something quick today, pretty pressed on time, but it was a good workout. So I hit a little bit of chest, a little bit of shoulders, a little bit of back, and then a tiny bit of arms. Pretty low volume for all the muscle groups, but still good to get it in, and the strength performance was quite good today. So what I'm rolling with right now, this is gonna count as meal 3. I've got 70 grams of that Ghost vegan protein powder, and then 7 grams of creatine all mixed in here. So this is what I'm gonna have post-workout. I'm gonna get this down and then chill out for a few minutes, and then I've got another client session, and then I'll get back home tonight and show y'all what we're working for meal 4. All right, y'all, so I just whipped up meal 4. So before I show you what meal 4 is, one thing to note is most fast days, I do have one meal of the day be a shrimp meal or a mussels meal, and then on the very rare occasion, sometimes scallops. We can have shellfish and invertebrate seafood like that. So we can have like lobster, clams, mussels, shrimp, scallops, octopus. Now what I typically have in my diet is usually shrimp, mussels, and then the very rare occasion scallops. But today I wanted to show you that you can do this high protein, completely vegan. So completely plant-based, not even including that in. Because when you add in, the shrimp or the mussels, it's a game changer. That's basically pure protein, makes hitting macros and getting high protein in while fasting super, super easy. Also to mention, when you go into Great Lent, it's not something you have to worry about on like the regular Wednesday and Friday fast. If you just go vegan on a Wednesday or Friday fast, no big deal. But during Great Lent, where it's several weeks long, you do need to be on top of your vitamins and minerals and stuff. And if you go completely vegan, you've got some considerations with that. That's where adding in, the occasional shrimp or mussel meal can really, really help you, or clams can really help you, kind of make up for where you can have deficiencies in a completely vegan diet. But I wanted to show y'all that you can do this completely vegan because a lot of people just don't believe you can do that. I'm honestly telling you guys, and you can see this on my Instagram, I've got a few completely vegan clients, bodybuilding clients or strength athlete clients. I mean, one of them in particular has been with me for the last couple of years, and he's been completely 100% vegan for years. And he's gone through many off seasons with me, many contest preps with me, and he looks fantastic. And not only does he look fantastic, he performs incredibly well, and then his health is literally impeccable. So this is something that you can do. It just takes a bit more work, and you just got to be on top of your macros. That's really the point. It doesn't really matter what you're eating. If you're really focused on strength and performance or even aesthetics, you've got to be on top of your macros. I wanted to show you that you can do this vegan today. Typically, though, like I said, a fasting day, I do have a shellfish meal like shrimp or mussels, and then sometimes it's super delicious to have scallops. So what I've got here, this is one of my favorite vegan meals. So I've got rice noodles. I did, I believe, 135 grams of rice noodles, a whole block of tofu, and then I did some kale, some cocoa aminos, salt, pepper, and then I topped it with sriracha. It's very, very simple. This takes like less than 10 minutes to make, and it's delicious. I love this meal. So this is a super quick, easy one that y'all can hit. I'll throw the macros up on the screen, but this is very, very high in protein, and it's just a delicious meal, kind of like Asian flavored. But this is one of my favorites. So this is gonna be meal 4. For meal 5 today, it's gonna be kind of a before bed kind of treat. And we'll talk about treats during fasting, kind of my viewpoint on that in a second, but we'll get to that in a little bit later. So this is what we're working with for meal 5 or meal 4, and I'll catch y'all in a bit. All right, y'all, so now I'm gonna have meal 5. So meal 5 is gonna be a little bit of a treat tonight. Now, with fasting, the whole purpose of fasting is our own, transformation and, going deeper in our prayer life, and frankly doing this in devotion to God. So, there's that kind of whole argument out there of, should you be making your meals taste super delicious, and should you be having desserts? And, obviously, at the monasteries, they take fasting, very, very aesthetic. They're having like bread and just a little bit of fruit, throughout the day. So there's degrees in which you can fast, and this is all comes down to your own, your own fasting life, your own, how aesthetic do you want to take it? The way I built out the ebook, and this is under guide, from guidance under my, spiritual father, Father Moses. The main thing is a lot of people have trouble having complete compliance with the fast and actually just following the fast by the rules set out for us. So, the reality is that, say through Great Lent, you can go ahead and, after just weeks of being on this diet, you want, and, a lot of people crave those animal products, the meat, all of that. So, there's people that will give up on the fast because they don't, they miss that stuff. So I put in a couple into this ebook, a couple kind of treats, to allow you, to be able to kind of maybe curb that a little bit, because the main thing is we do want compliance with the fasting, making sure you actually follow the fast and all of that. So, it really comes down to how aesthetic do you want to take your fast. You can make it to where your food, frankly, is really boring and you're not thinking about food at all. But I wanted to build a cookbook that one is high protein, and then 2, people could actually be compliant with the fast. So what we've got for meal 5 is a treat my wife made. This thing is bomb. I've been nibbling on some of the bites she's had for this. So baby, do you want to say what's in this? These are muffins, by the way.
So there's buckwheat flour, oat flour, protein powder, bananas, salt, cinnamon.
Chocolate chips, I think.
Oh yeah, I did chocolate chips too.
Yeah. So these things are bomb. So I don't usually, on fasting days have treats like this. I personally don't take it super aesthetic, but I'm not trying to. I don't really like to think about food on my fast personally, but I do like to still eat good and obviously have high protein. So this is kind of a rare thing for me, but I personally think it's completely fine for most people. If this keeps you compliant on your fast, absolutely feel free to use this from time to time. So just make sure obviously it doesn't take away from your prayer life and you going deeper with God and all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and have one muffin tonight. I'll probably be eating this over the next couple days. We got Great Lent coming up, so I'm getting some good food down. So I'm gonna have a muffin, and then before bed, before I do evening prayers, I'm gonna have 45 grams. Oh, by the way, the protein she used in this is Ghost vegan banana pancake batter. So before bed, I'm gonna have another protein shake with 45 grams of that chocolate vegan protein powder. And I'll throw the macros up on the screen for this meal and for the total daily macros. You know, normally on a fasting day, I wouldn't need to have this much vegan protein powder. But you know, this is a day I made it completely vegan and didn't have, you know, a shrimp meal or a mussels meal. You know, whenever I have a shrimp meal, it's super easy, guys, to get it high protein and to have, you know, the macro balance. So if you want a lower carb or lower fat and a higher protein, it's super easy to do when you throw in, you know, a shrimp meal or even a shrimp and mussels meal. So keeping that in mind. And with the ebook, keep in mind that's going to be coming out in the next several days. With it, I've got all the rules on fasting. I've got how to follow this to where whether you want to increase performance, you know, while fasting. So you want to be in a surplus, you want to be in maintenance, you want to be in a deficit, how to go ahead and set up your macros, how to follow macros, how to swap foods in and out, how to make stuff more high protein. You know, when we have the oil-free days, you know, how to cook without oil, how to make your meals more ascetic. If you do want to go kind of more like the monks at the monasteries, you know, how to take kind of these meals and make them even more ascetic. So I've built this out to hopefully help y'all with your fasting days, with Great Lent. You know, I want this to be a blessing to y'all and that y'all are able to use this to where not only are you compliant with fasting, but you don't miss out on your goals and you're not stressing. You know, the whole point is I don't want you stressing over losing performance, all that, you know, during Great Lent, and you know, it taking away the whole purpose of Great Lent, you know. So hopefully this can kind of be, you know, a really big help to y'all and help y'all out. It's going to have over 30 recipes, and they're great recipes, all high protein. What I love to eat and what I eat during my fasting days. And like I said, guys, I've built this book out to be a full guide for you on how to really do this right. So this will be out in the next several days. So it's going to probably first launch on Instagram. So be on the lookout on there. And then the next several videos, it should be linked down below. So it might be linked down below by the time you see this video, depending on when you watch this. So I hope this was somewhat helpful to you guys today. If you want me to do more of these full days of eating, most fasting days, frankly, are all completely different. You know, I've got some meals like that one tofu rice noodle dish I just did. I love having that a lot. But, you know, my meals change up. So if you want me to do more of these kind of full days of eating, or you want Jacqueline to do, you know, some cooking or recipe videos, you know, just let us know down in the comments down below what would help you guys out. You know, we're here for y'all. So let us know in the comments down below. If you do enjoy this, please go ahead and smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. God bless y'all, and have a great rest of your day.